Was there ever any like interest in pursuing anybody in the house, any of the single women in the house, Gabby, Danielle, or Sierra?
Ah. Mm,
I want to gab.
All right, today we're gabbing with Jesse Solomon, one of the two new additions to this eighth season of Summer House. Jesse and his fellow newbie West have proven to be exactly what the show needed. They are a breath of fresh, and I'm excited to get some time with Jesse today. Jesse, thanks for doing this. How's your week going?
Let me think. Okay, it's great. It's man, what is it? Wednesday?
It's
Why am I
Wednesday.
so busy? But I'm happy to take a beat and just decompress and talk to you, gab a
Is
bit.
is that work busy, or is that like combo of Summer House duties and work busy, social busy?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like when you throw the summer house stuff on top of a job, it's just like, when they sign you up for summer house, they're like, it's just on the weekends. Maybe we'll film once a week in the city.
Hmm,
Um, but
not the case.
yeah, it ends up being a lot of time.
So, I mean, when you throw Summer House on top of a full-time job like you have, what has that been like? Like, do you hear about Summer House at work, or what's the cross-pollination?
Yeah, so my job wasn't originally they were super keen on it.
Okay.
And then eventually it was not a fit. It's a publicly traded finance company. And I guess going on TV and getting drunk and hooking up with girls is not a perfect fit
When
for
everyone's doing that, I guess it's just not on TV.
yeah. Yeah. So I'm working kind of more of like a part. I switched jobs since I
Okay.
started Summer House, but it's still in the finance space. But on top of that, it's like working a new gig plus all the influencer type stuff that's coming my way and just trying to like filter through what's real and what's not. But it's all super exciting and fun, and I enjoy like, trying to work with these brands if they align with, what I like to do. And then there's still like the show stuff and keeping up with
Yeah.
social media. Like I'm not gonna say that this is all like super hard and time consuming and woe is me. Like I love it all. It's great, but it's just like there's a lot to do on top
And
of
it's new. And it's new for you.
yeah, it's
Like,
it's new and it's fun. And it's just like
yeah,
interviews and podcasts and stuff, but like I love it and this is what I
good.
wanted to do and I'm happy to be doing it.
Good. So, in that intro, I said that you and Wes were sort of exactly what this show needed to me. Like, I just felt like you guys coming in as a duo was perfect. Is that what you hear? Is that like a common refrain that you hear when you get feedback about you on the show, or is there something else that comes up?
Yeah, people are usually like, we love West and we like Jesse a lot. Mostly West. But I think I like West better than myself too. Like he's so fucking funny. So when I got to the house, like we just jived. I wouldn't say immediately, but pretty quickly. And he's just like such a funny guy. Like he's
Hmm.
so quick-witted. And he had like 48 hours of
A head
unadulterated
start.
fun. Yeah. He was just like with everybody. And that's like how the show was how it reflects me coming into the house was very much like real. Like it wasn't just all sunshine and rainbows from the second I walked in. Like I showed up and everybody's like, all right, Jesse Solomon, like who the fuck are you?
It's
And I was
always
like,
Jesse Solomon. Exactly.
yeah, I was like, what? I thought this was like a share house where we were gonna be friends and have fun. So yeah, no, it was like a little rocky the first couple weeks. Like there's some stuff that didn't get shown. Of like it was even there was more beef than
Between who?
I mean, Danielle and I did not get along the first couple.
Really?
I don't think she would be afraid to admit that either, but we're great friends now. So like it's cool. Um, but yeah, like she just wasn't she didn't think I was like for the boys, I guess you could say, or like for the house.
Got
And
it.
there's a whole backstory on why, but no, we ended up all becoming close by the end. And I'm very close with West. We talk every day, and I just feel lucky that it was such a good experience.
I mean, some of those TikToks you guys do together are works of art. So, I mean, especially the one on the moped or whatever that was, that's cinema right there.
I appreciate that because I'm new to TikTok. Like I've always dabbled and just been like, I can't do this.
Right.
I'm not like doing the trends or anything, but I'm just like, people want to see us at the house. Like I'll just put up videos of us at the house and like hopefully they like it. So
Yeah, totally. So you guys talk every day, and Wes was just on Watch What Happens Live, and this was kind of skirted as something like, okay, we'll find out what happens later in the season. We'll get the answer on him and Sierra. What do you feel comfortable saying about him and Sierra about what their status is now?
I will say that I love Weston Sierra. I loved hanging out with them all summer long. And you're gonna find out it's gonna be a fun
Mm.
reunion when everybody just gets to see us all back together again. And that's really all I'm allowed to say, brother.
So I can't ask if you've hung out since the summer with them together, or I guess in a big group, maybe.
Um, I've hung out with both
I'm
of
reading
them.
between the lines. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I've hung out with
Okay.
everyone. Yeah, I've hung out with them together at the
Okay.
launch party.
Aha. Got it. All right. So Jesse, I mean, it's fun seeing you as a duo. I think you guys like balance each other out so well. You bring, similar energy, but also different energy. But I'm curious.
Sierra and I, yeah, I agree. You're talking about West? Okay, yeah,
I'm talking about
West.
you, West.
Okay.
Do you ever think about how it would have been different for you coming into a situation like this solo? Because we've seen in the past couple of seasons, we've seen guys come in on their own, and if I think for various reasons it didn't work, but I think it's hard to come in alone. So you must feel really grateful to have West just as somebody who do experience this for the first time with.
You really prepared these questions, huh? These are good.
I'm
Um,
good at this. I'm good at this, Jesse. I have some experience with
I
this.
believe it, brother. Um, I showed up the first weekend and I was like, fuck, was this a mistake? Like, I just thought it would be like everybody's friends and whatever.
Yeah.
I should have realized that it was like a bit more dramatic than that. But I was like, if if I'm gonna be able to be myself in this house with cameras everywhere, like I'm gonna need a best friend. And I was like, I needed an ally, and Wes was just like such a nice, funny dude, and the other new guy that it just kind of made sense. And I asked him, I was like, you want to get drinks this week? Like, let's fucking meet. Besides, like, I showed up, there's cameras in our
Yeah.
faces, we have this party, and then we leave the next day. And I was like, I'd like to meet this guy off camera. I'd met Lindsay like 2 times before because like my business partner and my former assistant both like dated her a little bit. But besides her and Kyle, I didn't know anyone. And I was like, Wes, let's get drinks. And he's like, I'm actually going to the WNBA game with like all of my boys. And I was like, okay, like if I'll take what I can get, brother. So I ended up going to that game with Wes, and he's like, all right, this guy's cool. And we kind of became fast friends after that.
Love it. Love it. So a lot of viewers have commented that you are kind of the Kyle and Carl next gen. It's kind of like we have this duo. There's some similarities in both of you. Do you see that? Do you feel the same way, or do you disagree with that?
I see it in so many ways. Like it just never ceases to amaze me. Just between like the volleyball and the height, I guess, is just like one factor. But then Carl and I are both like sales guys who have had like a variety of different career paths. Like we both smoke weed. Um, there's just like things that always come
Yeah.
up. I'm just like literally Carl Jr. And then I mean Wes and Kyle, like you can ask them the comparison there, but like we
It's
yeah,
there.
it's
Yeah, it's there. Okay, you brought up the volleyball thing. I just watched the after show that you guys do. And did you watch that?
I just watched like
Okay.
the first half of it in the shower today.
Okay. Oh, you watched it in the shower?
Yeah, I have like a shower curtain and then
Love
the outside curtain, and I put my phone down in between the two just to like,
You've been figured out. Well,
yeah.
okay. So in the first half of that, Paige and Sierra say that you and Carl bringing up your volleyball past from high school is an ick for them. Do you have a
Yeah,
response
like,
to that?
do you think I just like brought it up and was like so proud of it? Like, no, the producers are asking me about it. I'm not just like sitting in the chair, like, let me tell you about my prestigious volleyball career. Like, no, I don't give a fuck about Like, it's like embarrassing, but like it's part of who I am, and like that's what the show's about.
Perfect response. Okay, but back to you and Carl. Like you guys do seem like you particularly hit it off. You have a lot in common. You like we've seen you guys just like have clearly a connection on this show. Um, and it also sort of has sort of manifested itself as like you being really comfortable like sharing your opinion on what's going on with him and Lindsay in the season like fairly quickly, I would say. Like I feel like you just sort of jumped into that conversation, which I think spoke to your comfort in that. Can you speak to like how you felt so comfortable doing that so quickly? Because I think a lot of people in your position would have like maybe stayed back, but you voiced your opinion in that situation.
Yeah, I would say that I was just getting Carl's side of things a
Yeah.
lot, and maybe it felt quick to the viewer, but in real life, there were so many conversations. And I even would say, like, listen, I'm not trying to like jump in and step on people's toes, but like, I think this is the point of this show is for me to, and
Yeah.
like, if you were one of my boys and you were asking for advice, like, this is what I would tell you. And like, yeah, Carl and I definitely like chilled a lot and became fast friends as well. Um, and I think just judging by like the way he took what I said, it wasn't like I was out of line or anything in doing so. Um, but it was just so clear. It wasn't me jumping in to like give this revelation. It was like it was so obvious that there was like a serious disconnect and tension like all the time. So I was
Right.
just like I thought I was putting it in like the most mild way possible.
Yeah, totally. And then I guess now watching the show back, because you're getting a lot of Carl's side in the moment last summer. Has anything surprised you seeing sort of any of these conversations that have happened in their bedroom or just like some more behind closed doors? Like has light been shown on any other kind of aspects of the situation for you?
I'm a very understanding kind of guy. I always see both sides. Like even when I know I'm right, I'm always looking at a situation from somebody else's perspective.
Right.
And like I totally get Lindsay's side of things. Like it makes perfect sense. But like at the end of the day, they just weren't a match.
Hmm.
Uh, so that's just yeah, like I every time I hear Lindsay talk about it, like I'm like, oh yeah, I get that. That would be
Right.
frustrating to me too. And then Carl talks and he's like, yeah, that also makes sense. Like, but if you're not a match, like obviously there's going to be a disconnect. Um, I mean, Lindsay actually had me convinced at one point, like at the end of the summer, like a few weeks after her and Carl broke up, she had West and I over to their apartment and kind of like gave us the whole how it all happened. And I was like, damn, I like haven't heard any of her side of the story. Like, am I gonna be on the wrong side of history here? But there's no sides. They're both
Yeah, I
friends.
agree.
And, I think like everybody agrees that breaking up was for the best.
The right move. Yeah. Switching gears, I mean, I think one of the things that I've really that something that from your time on the show that has resonated with me already has been you being open about your cancer journey and your cancer battles. My family's been affected by cancer, and so it was very powerful to hear that.
Yeah.
And it seems as though later in the season we'll get a little bit more of that. There's some sort of health scare that was mentioned in the trailer. So one, how's your health now? And two, I'm imagining that the response from you being open about this part of your life has been pretty incredible. So can you just speak to sort of some of that?
Yeah, I would say that uh I am healthy, thank God.
Good. Great to hear that.
Um and you'll have to watch the show to like see what plays out.
Yeah.
But I think a big reason that I wanted to do the show um was to share that story because I figured it would help somebody, you
Yeah.
know? And even if it helps just one person or one person goes and gets checked because of it, it was worth it. And that kind of helps me when there's haters and everybody's like, fuck this Jesse guy. And I'm just like, you know what? It's hard to care. Like, I'm alive, I'm healthy. I had so much fun doing it. So many good things are coming from it, so much positivity, that when people are negative, it's just like you just clearly don't get it. So yeah, the comments and the DMs have been incredible. Especially I just posted a post with the American Cancer Society
Hmm.
yesterday. And I just, for me, it's an easy thing to talk about. And I think for a lot of people, cancer is, there's a big stigma with cancer, especially testicular cancer. And I
Yeah.
think that since it's easy for me to talk about, that it's kind of a powerful thing that can help a lot of people. Like I even got a request on Cameo yesterday of somebody just being like, I want to just like talk to you about this because like,
Wow.
how are you able to be so open about it because it like really is hard for me to talk about as another person with cancer. So it's been overwhelmingly positive, and I'm happy that I could share that.
That's great to hear. And I also like, to address the hater comments, it's sort of like, I love that you can give us both. You can give us the serious, more powerful, like opening up confessionals and stories, but then we're also getting you, hooking up with girls and just kind of partying and having fun. Like, why can't we get you a guy who can do both? Honestly, like it's we're getting both sides of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's some funny comments too. Somebody commented on my post yesterday and they were like, why don't you stop hooking up with so many girls and treating them like trash and just focus on your health? And I was like, oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was like, it sounds like you need to get laid.
Also, just the amount of like presumptions being made about like, because we obviously see like, you guys walking in, towel over the camera, walking out. Like people just assume that it's just like you're kicking her out. It's like she's on
Yeah.
the side of the highway with no ride. It's like, I don't know. It just
No, I called her an Uber and obviously she didn't want to sleep in a house where there's cameras all over the
right.
place. Like she was like, this is fucking weird. I was like, listen,
I
I
get
don't
it.
I don't want you to get it twisted. Like there's the cameras are on at all times, okay? Like they can hear us. Like I don't want to like make you think that this is not a thing. Like it's a thing. And yeah, it was all good.
Gabby and West also brought up the fact that they have. Did you watch that part of the after show where they said that they have touched your ball? Did you hear that
Yeah,
part?
yeah, I did see the
And they said
ball.
that everybody in the house has done that. Is that true?
It's not everybody. That was one of those things where it happened off camera and I thought it was going to stay off camera. And then like we roll into the house the next weekend and everybody's like, I touched Jesse's ball. Like I touched it too. I was like, what the fuck? Anything fucking stays secret.
Listen, no,
Yeah.
yeah, nobody can be trusted. So, okay, we've seen you go to somebody else's house for like a booty call. This woman came over. Was there ever any like interest in pursuing anybody in the house, any of the single women in the house, Gabby, Danielle, or Sierra?
I was unsure at the beginning. Um, but we just became friends. Like it was just a friend vibe. And Sierra and West were in cahoots, like from
Yeah,
jump.
immediately.
Like, yeah, there was no getting in on that. And I kind of just came to the house. Like I've never watched Bravo before this. I was like, yeah, no way I'm gonna like shit where I eat and like hook up with the people in the house. I didn't know that that was
It's
like
a
the
smart
point
move.
of the show. I just thought that I would just like do my thing and have fun and whatever. But yeah, no, I mean everybody's friends at this point, and
Okay, good.
that's how it felt from the jump.
So you had never watched Bravo before, but had you asked, like, what did people in your life say who do? I'm sure there's people who watch Bravo in your life. What did they tell you before you went to the summer house?
Um, it was actually my sister-in-law who's a children's psychologist who convinced my dad that I should do it. I didn't get invited on the show till like late June.
Okay, it's a quick
We started
turnaround.
filming like July 2nd. Yeah, I was approached with the opportunity like June 14th.
Wow.
And so I was just like living my normal life as a finance bro in New York. And it was like, do you want to be on reality TV? And I was like, I never really thought about it. Um, what was the question?
People in your life who do watch Bravo, like, what did they say to you? I guess in
Yeah,
that 2 week span, or you didn't have
yeah.
time
And
to even
everybody
ask
was
them.
like, yeah, they were like, if it goes well, this will turn into something great. And if
Yeah.
not, then it'll just be like a fun experience. And I was like, whatever, I'm down. Like
What?
it's yeah, like I didn't know what to think, honestly. I just thought it would be fun and like, I kind of wanted to go down a more creative path, and I thought
Yeah.
this would have like open doors to that. So, and I just wanted to like make friends and like go stay in a house in the Hamptons for free. And
Yeah. And I
um,
feel like knowing that, Jesse, it sort of informs you hitting on Paige at the beginning and not really knowing a lot about her and Craig's relationship, because obviously us as viewers like know a lot about their relationship. It's been on TV for 3 or 4 years at this point. Like, what was it like for you to watch that back, and especially also the moment where I guess Craig comes to the house and Kyle kind of blows everything up at the table?
yeah, I'll just say that um, going into the show, I'll just say this first. Everything is very real on Summer House. Like it's not overproduced.
Yeah.
Like they're following storylines that are actually happening in their lives. And so I didn't know that. Like you're going into a reality show, you're like, is it real? Like who the fuck knows? And so I show up and like I knew Paige had a boyfriend. And I got drunk. And I didn't remember saying what I said to Paige in that one clip that they clipped and they played over and over again,
Yeah.
being like, she's like, oh, I was like, drink out of my chest dent or whatever. Like, who the fuck says that? Like, if you know me, like, you know that I just say shit like that. Like, it doesn't matter to who. That wasn't like,
But that became the only thing you said at the entire party. Exactly.
yeah, like that. But, and I was coming off a few hours of sleep because I was at my best friend's wedding. I fly to the Hamptons. Everybody's like, all right, reality show, go, big party, drinks, fucking shots.
Whew.
And then I say something that I shouldn't have said, probably in retrospect. But then I didn't remember saying it. And so all
Hmm.
season, people were like, why are you flirting with Paige? And I was like, what the fuck are you guys talking? I'm just like treating Paige like any one of my other friends in the house. And then the trailer comes out, and I was like, oh. I was like, I did. That was a little flirtatious. I get it now. Um, and then the whole Kyle of it all, like, yeah, I the funniest part of that to me was that like everybody was coming at me. Like those dinners are obviously way longer than they
Easy.
show. And like I was getting berated, like not berated, but like it was a long
A
dinner
pylon.
and everybody else ate. And then like they all leave. And I was like, well, I guess it's time for me to eat. And they have the scene where I'm just like still sitting there eating by myself because everybody's done with dinner. But yeah, Craig was like a total gentleman about the whole thing. And once I saw that he was going to be like normal about it, then it was all fine.
Yeah. So Andy tweeted recently that you guys are gearing up for the reunion. That's coming soon. You're going to tape that soon. What is something that you want to bring up at the reunion? And then what is something that you're curious about others addressing at the reunion?
I mean, I don't really have any beef. Like everybody always just shits on me, like to
You
my
take it
face.
well.
Yeah, like they do it to my face. So like when they do it behind my back on like the after show or whatever, I'm like not offended because like it's all in good fun and I know they love me. Um, so I don't really have any beef to bring up at the reunion.
Yeah.
What was the second part?
Is there something you're curious about other people talking about, or is there something you want answers on that other people are going through on the show?
No, I just I've never been a part of a reunion and it's like
Yeah,
seems to be a lot of hype around it and I'm just like I hope
there is.
everybody like acts like they typically do because if they do it'll be like fun and normal and fine, but if everybody's like drinking haterade then I might be in trouble.
Again, you handle it well. Do you have the fit picked out? You have the outfit picked out?
No, they just got to us with the theme.
Okay.
Um so I had a suit that I thought fit the theme, but it's like linen and one of my girlfriends helps me with picking outfits and she was like it's gonna just be wrinkled if you wear the linen suit and you're sitting down all
Listen,
the time.
she's giving you good advice.
Yeah,
Well, Jesse Solomon, I feel like I always have to use your full name. Thanks for doing this. This has been fun. I'm excited to see the rest of the season. And again, I think that you, even without the West connection, you've been a great addition to the show, truly. And so like just continue to ride the wave. It's been fun.
awesome. I appreciate that. I feel good about the whole thing and I'm excited to watch the rest of the season too.
Awesome. All right, we'll talk again soon. Thanks.
Thanks.
I want to gab.